President Trump, as the chief prosecutor-in-chief, the executive magistrate, should direct the prosecution, investigation of the deep state assault on America. Now, Dan was on Twitter the other day talking about cases that he was going to be pursuing, or the FBI was reinitiating or such. Let's put the tweet up and I'll let the tweet speak for itself. Let's go to number 22. Thanks for following this account and allowing us to update you about what we're doing at your FBI. A few updates. Okay, they're going to have a reform team in place, et cetera, et cetera. They said, shortly after swearing in, the director and I evaluated a number of cases of potential public corruption that understandably have garnered public interest. We made the decision to either reopen or push additional resources and investigative attention to these cases. These cases are the D.C. Pipe bombing investigation, the cocaine discovery of the prior administration's White House, and the leak of the Supreme Court Dobbs case. I receive requested briefings on these cases weekly, and we're making progress. If you have any investigative tips on these matters that may assist us, then please contact the FBI. And I wrote, the FBI is not capable of investigating itself. The agency should go the way of the USAID. I mean, I'm sorry, but this is not good enough. What are they going to be investigating in the cocaine case? Are they going to investigate the Secret Service? Because if there was a problem with the investigation, it was a result, I guarantee you, of political interference and corruption in the Secret Service investigation of what obviously was Hunter Biden's cocaine, or one of his buddies, or whoever. It's obviously a Biden family member responsible for the cocaine. Now, do I know that for a fact? Of course not. But do I believe that the federal government could investigate something like that and then come back credibly say, oh, well, I guess we're never going to know. It's just going to be a mystery how that cocaine got into the West Wing of the White House. It's just an eternal mystery. We'll never figure it out. So the pipe bomber investigation, which has been slow-rolled and slow-walked by the FBI, so they're going to add additional resources to an investigation that's been obstructed. Who's going to investigate the FBI's investigation of the pipe bombing issue on January 6th? Are they going to investigate the Secret Service? How it is they missed the pipe bomb and allowed Vice President Kamala Harris at the time to be within the vicinity of the pipe bomb, or one of them? And what's the third one? The Dobbs leak decision? I mean, I think that's an important issue. But wasn't there an investigation already into it? Who did it, and why wasn't anything done about it? Are they going to investigate Schumer for his threats on Supreme Court justices? Are they going to enforce the law protecting justices at their homes from being intimidated and put in harm's way by protesters? Are they going to investigate why those laws were not enforced by the prior administration? Is the FBI going to investigate the FBI? Is the FBI going to investigate the DOJ? This is why it won't work. And this is why, and it's not a criticism of, well, I don't care. People want to take it as a criticism, they can take it. They need to shut down the FBI as far as I'm concerned. It can't be trusted to investigate anything. I trust Dan to personally investigate something, but he's just one man. Cash, he's just one person. He's going to be they'll be relying on a flawed institution. A flawed institution, one that I don't think is fixable. I mean, there was a leak just today. It was, I forget which newspaper it was. Some liberal rag. I forget, it was either the Washington Post or the New York Times. that people are concerned within the FBI that FBI agents are being asked to investigate and handle the immigration invasion. They say that it will distract from their national security related investigations. So what's the import of that? It means that there are people in the FBI who don't consider the reversal of Biden's invasion to be a national security issue. And they're leaking to the papers now. So don't tell me the FBI is salvageable. Just don't tell me. Now, practically speaking, is the FBI going to be eliminated budgetarily or even curtailed the way the Department of Education's been? Probably not. But I'm just going to keep on trying to provide some leadership on it. Where is the investigation, the broad investigation of the lawfare against Trump? Where is it? See no evidence of it. And even if it began, I don't think the FBI ethically can do it because they're compromised, they're conflicted, the same with DOJ. This is why I said it once and I will say it again. President Trump, as the chief prosecutor, prosecutor-in-chief, the executive magistrate, should direct the prosecution, investigation of the deep state assault on America. Set up a separate investigative unit reportable to him. He can direct the investigations. He can direct the prosecutions. He can take advice and counsel from Pam Bondi and anyone else he wants, but he's the prosecutor-in-chief. I mean, we've been talking about, the news has been talking about, well, thanks to Judicial Watch's release of this, forcing the release of the audio of Joe Biden's rambling answers to the special counsel Hur that they tried to cover up. We caught them red-handed trying to change and successfully changing, it looks like, transcripts to hide how awful he was. But Comey was in contempt of Congress for hiding that audio. Why hasn't he been prosecuted? It's been weeks. Low-hanging fruit, as it's often said. And if I were the president, I'd call up the Attorney General and say, you need to prosecute Mr. Garland for the obstruction, the contempt of Congress. I mean, Comey's still walking around a free man after threatening to murder the president or advocating for the murder of the president. Let's go to clip. What's the clip of him being on that TV show? Is it 12?
I can't believe this guy hasn't been arrested yet.
This. You were walking down the beach. What happened? You were walking down the beach, and you saw this on the beach?
Yeah, my wife and I, Patrice, were walking on the beach and saw those numbers in shells on the beach. And
you didn't do this. Somebody else did this.
Yeah, somebody else did it. We were on a walk preparing for this week,
right.
The rollout of my book.
Yep.
She looked at it and said, why'd someone put their address in the sand?
All right.
And then we stood at it, trying to figure out what it was, and she'd long been a server in restaurants, and she said, you know what I think it is?
Yeah.
I think it's a reference to restaurants when you would 86 something in a restaurant.
Right, it's off the menu.
Yeah. I said, no, I remember when I was a kid, you'd say 86 to get out of a place. This place stinks, let's 86 it.
Right, I was a bartender. You would 86 a customer if they were getting drunk. Like, let's 86 them. Let's, like, give them a low-proof alcohol or something like that. Yeah.
And so I said, I think it's a clever political message. And she said, you should take a picture of it. I said, sure. And then she said, you should Instagram that. And boom.
Yeah, I thought it was a clever political message. My wife, who's a server, who talks like that? It was her rehearsed, absurd story that obviously is fake. Why hasn't he been prosecuted yet? And Dan Bongino was on, rightly complaining about the increase in death threats the FBI now has to investigate because of Comey's corruption. Let's go to 19.
I got to tell you, of all the things that have surprised me in the close to now 3 months I've been here, is the depravity of Jim Comey. This man is a disgrace to the badge, the FBI, and the country. What he's doing right now, one, going out and me taking shots at Cash. Cash doesn't belong. Cash was the chief of staff at the Department of. Cash is a patriot. Cash has served in numerous high-level roles, taking personal shots while you're on the beach, implying a threat towards the president and blaming your wife about it. And let me just add about James Comey, Saint Comey, who walks around there moralizing to everyone how wonderful of a human being he is. What you said is absolutely accurate. We have wasted countless man-hours now running out tips to our tip line about people putting 8647 because of Jim Comey, because he cannot control himself and his emotions. He is a child. He is a big child. And let me tell you one more thing. Jim Comey, who wants you to believe. Jim Comey taking a shot at the president. Oh, look at me. I'm such a victim. The president's going after me. He's making a ton of money on this book. The only person that got prosecuted was the president. Jim Comey, we're finding stuff even now.
So why hasn't he been prosecuted? I agree with Dan. Dan's analysis is right on. Now, to be fair to Dan, he's not the prosecutor. It's the Justice Department. '86, the President of the United States, and he's expecting us to believe it's just like cutting someone off who got drunk at a bar? Good Lord. And given his hatred for Trump, I'm talking about motive, he was fired by Trump. There's a Judicial Watch uncovered, forced out the truth. He stole classified information. He stole Trump's FBI files and then leaked them. Attorney General Barr at the time gave him a get-out-of-jail-free card for that outrageously. He spied on Trump. Yeah, so it stands to reason he would want to see him dead and threaten his life and make a clever political statement. So, I see Congress is going to be looking at the issue of Biden next week, or the next few weeks. They're going to be calling individuals to talk about whether or not who was running the White House, given Biden's corruption. They should be demanding this Justice Department and this FBI get on it. Now, do I think they were able to get on it? No, but at least we need to have a focus that these issues are important. Trying to get the president killed is important. There needs to be some law enforcement there. Trying to jail a president simply because you don't like his politics and he disputed an election, that's a terrible abuse of power that's criminal in nature. Targeting other Americans over their free speech rights related to elections. That's a terrible abuse of power. I mean, Ed Martin, before Tom Tillis, the Republican senator, torpedoed his nomination, was looking in the U.S. Attorney's Office when he was acting there about the abuses of the January 6ers. How did that happen? Remember, they placed a charge or put people in jail based on a charge the Supreme Court found overwhelmingly to be unfounded application of the law. Who's responsible for that abuse of power? Was it criminal? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't. They're doing some great work on issues that we all care about. There's no doubt about that. But we also care about these issues. You know why? Because we almost lost our country because of what they did. And if there's nothing done about it, we're going to lose it. We're going to lose our country because the same crowd eventually will come back into power. And they'll do it all over again, and they might succeed in ways they were unable to against the superhero President Trump, who, for the grace of God, was able to survive these abuses of him. I don't know if there'll be another candidate who would be similarly be able to survive this targeting. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.